So when you die, Hague style on the coastlines, what void will you leave? Will be some space break or tech break or bomb break? You know, Nobel Prizes are pieces of paper. But what's secret? What's beyond secret? That is Hague on your coastlines is worth more than Nobel Prizes because it's not on a piece of paper. That was the flyings and the runnings around the world wise to globals. So when you die and you come back as Disneyland, as the pin-up girl, as the mermaid, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to answer that. What exactly did you gain in the US other than your hard-on that you smashed the original girl's head on the coastlines and your hating PhDs saying, she's a dirty Russian, she's a dirty Arab, a dirty Turk, or a dirty Polish? Because in fact, the uncles are Polish and Russian, and Egyptian and Saudi, and there's Turks. Except I actually didn't go to Turk. That's why they said you're the missing link and just shut up. And I'm not going to give more than that information if you don't know geography. I was born in the United Nations in Rome in stupid times with 3 high schools. Overseas, International High School, St. George's, and Marymount International High School wasn't a high school, it was a middle school like Ambridge. I just had 1 or 2 years of high school, which tells me, shit diddly squat about the old news on the news, Indios, which you lost on the coastlines. So let's say the Intel makes a mask after the Hague of Dirk-Jan van Dam to be sweet. We say the Bureau de Veritas, pin-up girl, the mermaid, which in effect I was. But after the Hague, what they called by proverbial Nigeria or whatever around the world, the fregatura was that the scientists left with her. Because if you smash a leader's head on the coastlines, the mermaid, the Spee State at Rose Alba, then what you're going to get, my dear Federica Silvestri, is that the bombs and all the new things and all the space tech of July 20th of the 21st century coming from Russia and Saudi Arabia, Polish and Egypt academies, that also. That's the families, that's the blood. Yes, uncles in Poland, uncles in Russia, uncles in Egypt, uncles in Saudi Arabia. There's even uncles in Turkey, which I haven't met because, I'm domestic like. These families are deans or deans of universities. They're deans of universities of sciences, they're deans of universities and stuff like that. I was famous for science, but then I was hate and came out Disneyland. It doesn't matter who blessed me because you're Satanists, okay? You brought back Disneyland and you took everything to bring the cheerleaders, million Dr. Barrett's looking at Shanford Jr., psychiatrist in Europe, Germany, Italy, Poland, England, and you name the country, you name the UN. This is the American. I hate you, bitch. Fucking Jewish asshole who's a nobody smelly ass. Okay, I'll come here for you visa. I don't like your ass. I don't like yours. You don't even know how to speak English. Go back to fucking Israel. You hate a girl that they brought back as Disneyland. And these assholes, knowing I'm not a sub in English. That's a part-time job just to get out of Fresno in San Francisco. A visa mill. Oh my God. I'm not here to prove who's more feminine. I am a genetic graft for my own self. You are as bitchy and as bad that even if the intelligence community is brought back, and they even make a joke out of it. They're like, hey, we got Disneyland out there. Connected those who white girls are looking at me, the eyebrows are white, the hairs are white, looking at me with fear, terror, knowing what happened on those slides. I make it look rosy because I'm not a whore like you in the US. I'm not. I didn't put my PhD out there. I didn't say I was breaking space on July 20th, 2021. I didn't say anything about the United Nations corporations, not the Greys, not the Blacks, not on the flies, not on the runnings, and not after the Hague. I didn't speak about the pinks or cancer. Never once did I speak to you about the academicians, except that that girl had had her head smashed in on the coastlines, and how was her replacement tripod in pink. the trade pool in the house for the parents. You are terrorists, US. Then you complain that the ship and the corporations left from the coastlines long ago gone with the wind. What do you want them to do with the ship? Stay with your tits and ass PhDs and your retards. You're speaking about Intel, asshole. Delve! Your mistakes and your hatred is like looking at She-Devil, like the comedy of She-Devil for Disneyland. I tell you what it do, tell Intel. Yeah, one piece of paper, grazie, anybody can do that. And then we start with comparisons again, after the Hague on the coastlines. Do you have pay mercy on me? God, I can't take this anymore. This saying, within the CIA, if you see mountains, flyings of that girl defending the parents in Fresno, retirement, she's working out for on the coastlines and here and there. The amount of runnings on the hills, that many times, back and forth, defending the parents. And she's working elsewhere. She's on the coastline, she's here, she's there. There are scientists who can predict in the UN, in China, I think that girl's going to have her head smashed in. Gets her head bashed in on the coastlines, happy birthday, July 22-1 is gone. She's born on, I am born on July 22-1, like a plum and dime. You say, I'm a particular corn cob, my nails are different, my teeth are different, everything. The only thing in common I have with the original is the eyebrows. They call it the stand-ins, the replacement kids, whatever. Then they say, miraculously, after the smashing head on the coastlines, there's genetics from the Russian Mir, Saudi Mir, the German Mir, the German airspace, those Italian Mir, English Mir, a scientist saying, Madonna mia, that was a phenomenon. Okay. I'm looking at them as like, okay, and how am I going to say that to the Americans without offending their fucking PhDs? And they sent their cheerleading fucking psychos against Disneyland. So what did he say? Scotland Film and Radio Globo. He used to say to me, I'm going to think the radio was invented like 200 years ago, genetically speaking. Okay. Well, let's just stay out. Do I have to arrange my own kidnap with the Scotland Film and Radio Globo? Or can we just do it in a normal way? Without the psycho-stalkers and cheering my death here? Because it's not like you sent me rapists. No, you sent me protozygotes. That's like, at the end of the numbers, like, and they're psyching stalking. Now, when you do connect the dots for wise to globals, it's different. Because there's a lot of intel. And when you have a lot of intel in 81 countries, 81 being the US, then the stalkers have more difficulty, like the Heineys, and stuff like that. They're so sure, these psychopaths, that they're going to get away with what they're getting away with. They don't actually realize that the Hague is paperwork, the Bureau de Veritas paperwork, the corporations, the scientists on the coastlines that left, some are still there, the CIA, others. Because many of these corporations are foreign. For instance, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson are Scottish. Give you an example. So the others. Moderna and others, and not only because those are the pink ones, there's also the greys and blacks. That's the intel of the space stack. So when there are groups of intel, even if there is a leader, even if there is a girl that is stronger than the others, like the daughter of a man and a woman who were born in pioneer camps beyond the capital cities, the parents, northern capital city, the parents, Pioneer champions at very young ages, beyond again. The age of 5, they go to Mosul, to Cairo. They become D1s. Humanitarian Relief Services, OSRO, later on, CRS, United Nations, D2s, D1s. They dropping aid with helicopters all over Africa. They lived in Africa. All over Asia. All over South America. They go to Iraq a few times, like everybody else. Again, Schadenfreude Jr., hate Jr. You trying to, I already have Schadenfreude Jr. with the Dr. Burris. You don't understand. They can't be just spouting out paperwork for your fucking assholes. So you can feel good about your cheap ass. So, you know, so they never forgave you for what happened on those lines. And the intelligences who were with her, other than being deans in those countries or in the UN or in Western Europe, who knew her, or in the, obviously the UN, and in Woolwich, range meantime, the inner circles. Why? Because if you have scientists who see a girl like that in the UN, from Russia, from Saudi Arabia, Mir, Polish, Egypt, they see that. They see the UN in Italy. They see a girl like that, they call her worse than Men in Black child, and then her head is smashed in on the ghost lines in the US. She comes back as Disneyland, a particular corn cob. She's very advanced. But it's not anymore herself. She's a trained poodle in a house, genetically speaking, a particular corn cob. They say this Ubermensch as byproducts. The German, the Italian, the British, Warsaw, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Russia, they've seen them. They've seen the Ubermensch. And they say, look, there's batches. 4. It's not just 4. There's many. If you're going to smash a girl's head in like that on the ghost lines, and then have to speak to the average American with their fucking PhD up their ass about Nobel Prizes, so you excellent up your ass pieces of paper, and then the intelligence communities that have come back and they say there was a smashed head on the ghost lines, they created Ubermatch and a pink and blues, and say the nails is old news. But if you smash somebody's head on the ghost lines, it means you lost the intelligence with the ship to yacht in the US, and they sued you with the Hague. They sued you with the Bureau de Veritas, and they said you are terrorists. And in other continents, they created blues. Let's see if these animals understand what intelligence really is. So that they don't go, I am so good, Mother Truck, God save me. I hate Disneyland because my PhD is so far up my ass, and I'm the most intelligent on the planet. I can beat the Russians and the Chinese and the Germans, you and the Saudis. And when we smash her head on the coastlines, we'll bring back a pin-up girl. So we can see exactly what the Americans are made of. Shit. And so while you took it out on Disneyland, because you couldn't give a shit about the crimes that were happening on your coastlines, and you complained about a fucking Jewish bank, because most of you are Jewish anyway. And anyway, that was the Jews. What's that? Directly involved in 9/11 banks. But anyway, let's just speak about that. And they're involved in other things on the coastlines. Oh, that's it. We're in the grays, blacks, and the pinks, except it's collective. Reasoning, the Americans lost what was on the coastlines of those corporations and the intel that was with that girl. And so when they made the pin-up girl out of me in Disneyland, they were expecting the Americans to be a little bit, after the Hague, the Bureau de Veritas, pin-up guy, go child, motherfucker. She's not even herself. Calm the fuck down. Yeah, but there's blues. Well, how to make the blues after smashing out on the coastline? You ain't fucking intelligent enough even to explain that. Go ask that to the inter-communities. Go ask that to the religious orders. What they're going to tell you. You're fucking genius in the US. The best of the best. When they call that the big one on the coastlines. Yeah, history. You don't even remember your history on the coastlines. US, you're not a fucking country. Yeah, still, that's not the father and the mother in Fresno retirements. So don't give me this religious shit, racial shit. I'm looking at their jobs, okay? At D1s, directorates, dropping aid in helicopters all over Africa, all over Asia, all over South America. Been to Iraq a few times, like just about every single tiny department, big department. UN installation from New York to Rome to Switzerland to Austria. Come on! Just like this. I have seen assholes. Like, I swear by God, I have seen assholes abroad. But I've never seen such assholes like you, US. Like, seriously. And your bitches, you better tame them. Because being slapped by a chula who is a 10x bra, being spat on even from a distance by white girls who don't understand anything about intelligence, sticking out Disneyland, to look at such stupid people who don't even understand the eggs after a smashed net on the coastline, to look at people who have such little knowledge of intelligence, of a Hague, of Ubermensch, of pink and blues, of wormhole to worm, of science, of space stack, of anything, even of fucking shit-ass cancer pig. Yeah, and their useless boyfriends. I used to go stick out Disneyland out that shit on the coastlines as a pin-up girl. Well, you were the leader. I don't give a shit. You don't send out Disneyland and Intel after the Hague. We stay the fuck out of the US and keep your PhDs, your Nobel Prizes, your tits, your ass, all of it. Seriously, US from Delft. There was a time. Excuse me, if you could see it coming from fucking China on your coastlines. And Minimalika, that was the old news on the news. Fixing, whittling, and the whole shit. I'm not going to fix, and I'm not going to whittle. I'm already dead. I'm Disneyland. I'm the stand-in for that girl. And the only thing I have in common with that girl, literally after smashed in head on the coastlines, is the eyebrows. That's it. Well, that's all I'm going to say. Anymore. Can't have that much paperwork for one fucking cat. And still say, that's Ghost Child, Girl with the Wind, the whole fucking world knows about this shit, there's old news on the news. And still, I have to put up with your fucking bitches, assholes, and hoes. At least the prostitutes get paid. On top of that, I have to put up with the psychos because no, they're not just bitches and hoes. They're psychos. Forget it. You know, when there's that Dr. Barrett's, it doesn't matter how many motherfucking Dr. Barrett's there are out there. These people are writing paperwork just to fucking protect me from these psycho cheerleaders. It doesn't matter. Even in Berlin, Schadenfreude Jr., crazy bitch, cheerleader. I can't take this shit anymore. Come on, you can't put more shit on paperwork. Oh yeah? You already saw the devil and came back, Bruno. You Disneyland. You were hate. You're a particular corn cob and pig. Well, they had a problem with Dolly. I don't give a shit if they had a problem with Dolly. They're retarded in the US. Oh, excellent. That's the old news on the news? Right. We're doing good, US. Delft. So when they said the Scotland film at Radio Globo and made it fucking look rosy through me, I ain't a fucking joke. Now, again, considering that this is the old news on the news gone with the wind and nobody gave a shit, you don't even know your history on your own coastlines because Your PhDs are so fucking involved in their own assholes rather than thinking what's happening on your own fucking soil. Might as well just do the scope plan film and rather grow, pay somebody to do the kidnapping role for myself, and that's it. Caga. Quanto pay grátis, cazzo. With all the opportunities, chances. Well, think about it. You're Disneyland. We have very good dancers over here. Jonathan Bennett. No, not the John Bennett. No. Jonathan Bennett, the high school friend of yours. Oh, yeah. He was kidnapped, wasn't he? About the same. For example, when you should have been swiped from, forced them to stare over his hand. He became a dentist. He stayed in Rome. Yeah, and he was the best student, wasn't he? He was like straight A student. He was 3 years younger. I had been moved 3 years ahead, but then that makes me his age group or something. Anyway, but simple. It was an Amy Quintus's class, the sister of Lara Quintus. You know, Amy being the bully, the theater girl, she also. In any case, that's old news on the news, okay? And I have literally, when I was created as Disneyland, when I told you, I feel very uncomfortable at the age of 5. Why? Because I'm looking at my nails, you see? I look at my nails. At the age of 5 in Rome, and I see, wait a second, there's something wrong here. Something's changed. I have changed. But I look like myself. I was like, darling, that's empty because your brains have been smashed on the website. That's all this on the news. What do you want from me? No, there's something else. There's genetics going on here. And the UN of the blues. Wait a minute. The girl had her head smashed in on the coastline. Yeah, it's not the same person. But they brought back. How are you going to explain that to the average or even the genius Americans with the Nobel Prizes? This phenomenal shoot of July 22 to 1. Smashed an head on the coastline's Disney relic, and somewhere else, in the baboots of the world, the scientists. Oh, you're that girl. With what? Negative. Like literally. You made the radio. The Delft radio. Literally, the nome deva. Not only did you negativize that shit as The Hague, as a pin-up girl, and Bureau de Vedette, it actually made negatives genetically. Oh, God, thank you. You know, US, I'm really sorry for your standard of scientists. And I'm sorry for your standard of intelligence. I'm also very sorry for your violence and your hate. Exemplified by your fucking cheerleaders for Disneyland. And I'm really sorry about the Scotland film at Radio Globo. And I'm really sorry this is beyond famous around the capital cities. Even for the dead baby. Because they know what you lost on the coastlines. You're the only people in California who don't give a shit about anything. I don't care if you're from Israel. I don't care if you're a Chula. I don't care if you're a white bitch going and getting a degree in college. I don't give a shit what the fuck you are. If you can't fix that shit on your own coastlines, and that's the old news on the news, it means you're not blind. You're dumbass! When somebody gently brings back Disneyland from The Hague and makes a pin-up girl or ghost child and tries to explain this to you, and obviously do not think that after Haguing my blood, and I'm supposed to be the stand-in child. I am the stand-in tripod child in pink, the Disney version of that girl. A genetic anomaly. A piece of paper extension, Delft, Holland, Delft, Newkirk, Bilderberg Church, okay? But Dirk Jan van Damme, The Hague, looking at me like, oh, no, Jesus Christ. You came back from the dead motherfucker. And there's the Bureau de Veritas. Also, because you are leader in what? Leader in what? Isn't that old news on the news? I'm actually losing out there. But I know there must have been a ship because there's no way that there's one girl, even if I was a leader, and some other scientists. I know there were corporations because of the UN, Western Europe, and London. Professors. All you have to do is read Greenwich Mean Time. The name of the fucking professors. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson. There's the Greys and the Blacks. And yeah, they have an entire motherfucking military complex. I said, well, Greenwich Mean Time is nothing. Yeah, well, it's Woolwich. I didn't go to Greenwich Mean Time. I spent my entire time in Woolwich. What's Woolwich? The Bletchley Circle, fucking bitch. The Bletchley Circle? What's the Bletchley Circle? What's the Bletchley Circle? Is there MI5, MI6? Is there geniuses? Don't know how to read? You don't even know how to open the internet and read Wikipedia, the Free Encyclopedia. For Disneyland after the Hague on Yorgos Lanthimos. They made a fucking mess after the Hague. And normally, so Jumla, the only thing you have in common with your original is the eyebrows. Well, thanks. You were phenomenal. July 20th, 2021. Phenomenal. Yes, but that shit went Hague on the coastlines of the US. Should be happy that shit's void. Together with the corporates. We'll help you. Those assholes. What, the Brits? Yeah, the Brits. Whores in the US. That's a cat's the Holy Grail. I'd be sitting there and saying to me, you couldn't see that shit careening from fucking China or even in the UN in Western Europe. And then eventually, you smash the head, you bring back Disneyland, she has to keep her mouth shut. Because, oh my, the psychos and cheerleaders out there on her little crawlies, hate you. Not even rapists, psychos. You know, US, I have seen mentally retarded countries, and I have seen people who don't like listening to Disneyland after the Hague. But I've never seen that level of fucking assholes and bitches. You complain about Black Lives Matter, about anything. You complain about losses of people, violence of the police, but you're not complaining about the real losses on the coastlines. You complain about some Jewish banks as a pretext to go to Afghanistan or the Second War in Iraq. Not necessary, the Second War. First War was not liked, or even accepted or tolerated. The second one was, well, retarded. In fact, you could see where it's going. I'll tell you one thing. You got nothing out of the Vietnam War. You got nothing out of any of the wars. You got a little bit out of Afghanistan, but not for long. The only thing you ever got was from Korea. North and South Korea. That's the only time any of your wars succeeded. By separating the Koreas to North to South. There are wars that are inconsequential wars. These inconsequential wars brought to World War III by the Jewish people. Hitler had the same problem. He really did. For 2 world wars with the Jews. And they had been exterminating Jews for thousands of years. But them like Kurds, like minorities. And I'm not scared of Jewish people. Even if they kill me here, they'll probably sue them. They'll call it Schadenfreude Jr., the emotional distress, the hate. Dr. Parrots they have psychops, okay, just for me, as extras. Because the Hague and the Bureau de Veritas of that girl, the paperwork for the science that was lost, is separate. You hating Disneyland is separate. And that's not even mentioning the father and the mother in Fresno, or retirements. So when they say that you're a fucking backward country, they meant it. It's not a question of the Holy Grail. People are not that stupid around the world not to remember what happened on the coastlines. They're not so stupid not to remember who the fuck Fresno is, the intelligence of Fresno for the barons on retirements. You see, after so many flyings on the mountains, this is what you are, US. I'm not going to look at your fucking horse, what you sent to me. Ukrainian, not Ukrainian. Excuse me. Is it right there? I'll show you. That's the roof right there. You see? No, there. That's the roof right there. The roof it's not flat, okay? It has hills. So those are the hills. Roof is not flat. It's not a flat. There's hills. That's the hills. Beyond the pines is the mountains. The mountains go up. You see, this is where you don't see it because you don't have mountains here. You don't even have mountains here with your fucking Ukrainian holes. What is this, a little hole right there? What is it, a hit of the roof right there? All right. So that's the rooftop. So the roof is not flat. The roof has hills. The hills have mountains. And flies and then runs and then... Is that understood, assholes? To Disneyland. You know the country, US. And you are losers. You are absolute losers with those scientists on those lines with the hate. And I'm really sorry that I'm the pin-up girl Disneyland to have to put up with your fucking psycho stalkers and haters. I'm not going to cry in front of you. I never cried. I started crying when I was a little closer to the end of the Social Security number because I'm Disneyland. I couldn't take the pains, but it's not that I cried consciously. I cried in my sleep. I was so full of pain on the Grolies and Electrocolis, I just cried in my sleep as Disneyland. I couldn't control it. I couldn't hear myself talk in the Netherlands or in other countries with Lorenzo. I'm a fat facial mask. Your women are worth zero to the intel communities. Even in the US, you're trash. Your PhDs are trash. Your banks are trash. You don't know what's good for your own country on the coastlines. You could have prevented it, but you didn't care. You hate Disney, and that's not even mentioning the parents of Fresno. You're ugly. Spectators of the show. And you speak to me intelligence and delve. After smashing that girl's head on the coastlines and bring me back, I feel good. At Disneyland. Crazy fucking assholes. Scotland Film and Radio Globo. Finish.